Okay, very good. When we are talking about gamification, we can say that that's the application of elements of game playing in other areas of activities. Not only teaching, they can apply this knowledge or these elements in business, in management, and in other activities. Some of the elements of the game playing that we are going to be applying while we do this kind of activities are the point scoring, the competition, the rules of play, playing in teams, and a big etc. Okay, so now when we are going to understand what is gamification per se, we know that gamification or ludification, they are synonyms, has been discussed for a long time. Not only it became trendy just a few years ago. It was mentioned in the 2010 that using game mechanisms can increase the engagement, not only of kids, but of students of all ages and of all topics. Additionally, I can say that the content gamification that we do at our work in scenarios such as restaurant reviews and knowledge collaboration systems, but it should contain an element of recognition that the person that are awarded in this game or in this process, during this process, can say, okay, I did this, so I received that as a reward. Okay, additionally, it can be mentioned that ludification or the gamification express the process of becoming playful, and it describes a society in which play is a centric element. Our society, the society we are facing right now, it's very centered in the game playing. So most of the kids are very interested in games like Free Fire and other online activities, and we need to exploit that. We know that they love learning or playing by learning or doing both things at the same time. Okay, but we are going to be discussing this, how to apply the gamification elements to education, that it's our field, that it's our labor. Okay, when we are using gamification in education, our hope, our goal as teacher is to make learning more engaging and appealing to a public audience. This public audience are our students, okay? So this goes beyond the traditional learning methods and the traditional learning trends or tools that can result boring to our students, okay? We can say that gamification gives a plus to our teaching strategies, okay? So they are going to make our classes more appealing for our students, and they are going to make also the information easier to digest by them, okay? So please, okay, everybody, can you please put your microphones off? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we are going to continue, and we are going to learn some relevant information about it. Okay. So when we are using gamification techniques, we need to understand that play and learning are very closely linked. Okay. So we are going to use playful activities as a way to hook our students into learning. Games are a great way to internalize motivation, stimulate commitment, perseverance, and surpass oneself. So there is a lot of upside things that can help our students. Additionally, we can say that games carry meaning. When we plan our gameful activities well, they are going to have a meaning for them. They help us to develop their autonomy and feeling competent. Additionally, they can promote the creativity of the students but also collaboration, because we know that it's very important for our students to learn how to work in teams. When we are talking about gamification, it sometimes we have heard that it has a bad press in the world of education, because we think that, okay, we are going to implement games in the classroom. This is going to distract the students, okay? Or this is going to be very difficult to control inside the classroom, or the classroom is going to get out of control and it is going to be very loud. But we need to understand that when we are teaching languages, our classrooms are going to be loud, are going to be very, it's going to have a lot of movement, and they're going to be done a lot of activities that stimulate our students' mind. Okay, so here we're going to have the 8 main drivers of human motivation. I am not going to explain them all so deeply because we are preparing another workshop for next month about this specific topic. But some of these drivers are positive and some of them are not. For example, we can say that one of the things that motivate our students are the epic sense and vocation. If they really like the topic or the subject, they are going to try their best in all the tasks they are given. We can also mention the development and achievement process that can motivate our students. We have the creative autonomy and receiving a positive feedback from the teacher. We cannot say, okay, your homework is not correct at all. We can say, okay, it is good, it has some errors, but we need to improve it, but in a friendly way. We can even point at all of their errors, but with a smile on our face, they are going to see like a friendly feedback. Okay, we can also talk about ownership and possession. They know that they can own the knowledge of a topic. They can feel that they really understand, and that motivates them to continue learning. Another very good, a very good driver of the human motivation, it can be the social influence and the connection they have with their peers. If they feel or they think that all of their peers are doing okay with that specific task, they're going to try their best. Okay, some of the negative ones are rarity and impatience. Sometimes they can feel not motivated because they are impatient, because they feel that they are not going to spend so much time by doing a task, and they can feel frustrated sometimes too. Okay, another one, it's the unpredictability and curiosity. If we have curious kids or curious teenagers as students, that's one of the best type of students we can have, because we are going to give them some information and they are going to be investigating, learning, and wanting to know more. And that's a very good type of students. We can also talk about the fear of loss and avoidance. Okay, they don't want to lose their time learning something they do not like. So that can influence their motivation. They can influence their motivation not only in the learning process, but in other aspects of their lives. When we are talking about the benefits of gamification in the EFL classroom, we are going to point 4 of them today. So we have, as the first benefit we get from this type of ludic activities, it's that our students can interact and socialize with each other. So if they are using the language to communicate with each other, to interact during the game or during the activity, it is going to be perfect, because They are using the language, they are using the target language to communicate how they feel or what they want to do in that moment. We can also produce sensory and emotional stimulation to our students. Some of them are going to have visual stimulus, or they are going to feel more comfortable with the kinetic stimulus when they are running or moving or touching things. Or they are going to have the emotional stimulation. Okay, we are going to stop just for a bit because of the noise.
Miss Carla, I love your presentation. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, I think that we are going to continue. So, when we are talking about the sensory and emotional stimulation, we can also talk about they are working in pairs, they are working in teams, they feel connected to their peers at that moment. When we are talking about the problem-solving skills, okay, by giving them games, by giving them riddles, by giving them these kind of activities that we are trying to implement in the classroom, we are charging them with problem-solving skills and how to process it if they have a problem in real life. Okay, and finally, we can say that these type of activities enhance their creativity and autonomy while developing other types of tasks, not only in the educational field. Okay, now that we already see the benefits of gamification in EFL classrooms and that most of us can feel motivated about it and the implementation in our own classrooms, in our own classes, even though they are virtual right now due to the pandemics, and we can do it. I am going to show that later. So now we are going to be checking up the challenges they are going to have. Okay, so give me 1 minute. I am going to accept some more people and we are going to continue right now. Okay, the first challenge mentions that gamification cannot drive long-term behavioral change. Personally, I do not agree with this statement, but some researchers has found this. I think that a very well-designed activity in this gamification process can lead in a long-term behavioral change. Why? Because if we are applying correctly this process, we are applying correctly our tasks, our activities, and our explanation of how is this important, they are going to have a behavioral change, the whole classroom. Another challenge we can find as teachers in Latin America is that we have crowded classrooms. It can be more difficult to deal with a crowded classroom than be dealing with a small group of students. They are more difficult to control. They all have different learning styles and they all learn in different ways and paces. So having a big amount of participants in our classroom can make our lessons to become more difficult to plan and to conduct. Okay, so we are going to have as another challenge the lack of technological resources. Many of us can be public schools teachers, and we know that most of the schools are not equipped in the way that could be easier for us as teachers to engage our students. Okay, the lack of technological resources can be a very difficult challenge to overcome as teachers. But now that we are doing all our activities in a virtual way, we can make this a little bit easier for us. And finally, we have the different proficiency levels of our students. Okay, these gamings and these ludic activities we are going to be implementing in our classrooms are going to be designed for all of our students. And if we have a big group, we need to understand that not all are going to have the same proficiency level. Some of them are going to understand more, some of them are going to understand less, or some of them are going to have a larger vocabulary to use during the activity. So this is going to make us know and realize that they are all different, but we need to find a intermediate level where to plan our class. Okay, so right now we are going to talk about the students' perception of these ludic activities we are talking about right now. And our students' perception is that most of them enjoy these activities. These gamification strategies modify the brain's reward and pleasure center and ameliorate learning. This means that they find pleasure learning. This pleasure during gamified education results in a long-lasting affinity for the academic subject or for solving otherwise complex problems. So we can say, for example, that we had a very nice experience with our English teacher in the past. When we were students in our high school or at a school level, we found a very engaging English teacher or a very engagement math teacher. And that teacher made us really love the subject. Maybe we were not even so good with the language, or we were not so good with numbers, but the teacher had this way to explain these topics or these tasks that makes us love the class. Okay, maybe we don't love the content it has, but we loved how it was explained or how the class was carried out. And now I am going to show you some really useful applications. For example, I have this app that it's called Pointagram. I think this app is perfect. We are going to see the interface in a few minutes. And I think it's a great app that we can use with our students of all ages. We can use it with a group of kids or with a group of adults, because they are all going to enjoy this. This tool is going to help us to compete, motivate, and engage our students. So give me 1 second and we are going to be looking at this application. And it's free, by the way. There are some applicatives in this one that can be paid, but most of it's in a generous free plan. So we are going to watch this video. Okay, and I am going to show you the interface it has while you are in. For example, I am going to go over here and okay, I have this that it's going to make me, I'm going to cancel it, okay? So I can show you very quickly. Here we are going to see the active competitions. If we have that, we have the badges. As we said that our students are going to be motivated by the reward they are going to receive if they game, if they perform well during the game, or if they do great during the tasks, we can really recompensate their learning process with a badge. Here we are going to have tutorials that are going to help us how to create them, how to create the quests for them that can be surveys or can be quizzes. And we can also take our lessons or our quizzes by using this application. Okay, our second application, it's going to be Teach Pitch. Okay, in this app, you can find activities and lessons that are personalized. They are already done about different topics for all ages and interests. So I'm going to show this really quickly. And this is how this application looks while you are already logged in. For example, you can find resources over here. I am going to choose my learners age. For example, I am going to choose 14 to 16 years. I am going to choose the format if I want activities, worksheet, applications, articles, reports, audio, courses. I have a lot of tools in this one, and I can also select how many hours my class is going to last. For example, I am going to select this one that it's for 1 to 2 hours, and I am going to have 508 results. For example, I am going to select rate this movie. Okay, let's hope it loads very quickly. Okay, in case it don't, I am going to return back here and we can check all of these topics. Even most of them came with a lesson plan. Okay, so that's really cool about this specific application. In this one, I think the only challenge I could find was that it needs to be directed in a computer. Unlike Pointagram, that I can also download it in my cell phone, and we can play with tablets, cell phones, or computers. Okay, let me see. Perfect. I have rate this movie, hold a view party. I have the grades, I have the time, I have who is the author too and who is the publisher. I have the description of the activity and why it is helpful for my students. So I can also find related resources that can help me to make a better class with my students, or where I can find additional information to use if the class is going too fast. And finally, I am going to show you this one that most of us should have dealt with this app, and I think that it's one of the best apps I have ever used, and it's Wordwall. And I am going to show you this speaking activity I have for my A1 students. And I only need to click on start. And I am going to have an amazing roulette over here. I can do like this. And it randomly is going to select one question for my students. I can delete them. I can add more questions. And I can also find them in different formats. For example, this was the roulette. I can put it in random, in random letters, or having a scrambled words. Okay, we can have several interfaces for these activities. And finally, I am going to stop sharing my screen, and I am going to give you, and I am going to share with you one link where we are going to share our ideas about how to apply gamification in our own classrooms, okay? So you can go to the link I am just about to send you in the chat, and you are going to select this part. Give me 1 second. You're going to select this notepad, and you're going to write in a small sentence or in a small paragraph how you're going to use gamification, or how do you think it could be helpful for you to use it in your classroom with your very own students. Okay. At the end of this activity, you can also participate talking, you can raise your hands. I will be super happy to see your hands up. If you want to share an experience you have had by using gamifications in your classrooms, okay? So here is the link. I just send it and you can participate. Just one small sentence or one small paragraph, okay? Oh, very good. This is completely anonymous, by the way, so if you want to write your name at the end of it, it could be perfect. I already have 3 people logged in. 4 people, thank you very much. Okay, as soon as we post it, we can go out of Jamboard and I am going to be reading one of the most interesting idea you're going to have over here, that you're going to post here. Okay. Okay, I have the first one. It says, when teaching new vocabulary words, I would love to use the roulette or for speaking activities to make it interactive. That's a very good one. I use the roulette with questions with my A1 learners because they can feel more enhanced to talk in that way. They can feel more comfortable talking and they can feel also part of the game. Okay, I see encourage my students to work on their own. Yeah, that's perfect because we don't have the necessity of being in our students' back all the time telling them, okay, you need to do this, you need to do this. Okay, that's a very good one. Okay. You can still move your, yeah, very good. I'm seeing someone is writing. Okay. I see here I have used Kahoot in class with my first class, and it was very effective choice. It was not only an icebreaker, the game actually helped me to conduct all the lesson. Yes, you're totally right. Kahoot and quizzes are very, very nice activities to do with our students. And also they can get very competitive, so they can try their best while performing these activities. Okay. So if you want to share some personal anecdote or something that had happened to you, there is no necessity to have your camera on. There's no problem with that. And I am going to stop sharing the screen. So if you want to participate, you can raise your hand, okay? Let me see, I'm checking it up. Any time in the past that you had participate or enhance your students or conduct a lesson with gamification techniques. Maybe we didn't even notice we were using this kind of techniques. Let me check. Okay, you can raise your hands and I can activate your microphones. For example, when I was investigating about this, I noticed that there was not only the necessity for implementing gamification techniques with technological tools. We can even plan our lessons, our classes with a small dice or with a deck of cards. Okay, so for gamification, we do not need this. Okay, so Cindy Monge, you can share your ideas right now. You can activate your microphone. Yeah.
Yes, thanks. Well, here are very young children. So I needed a tool very useful for them to be engaged because they are very like they don't know sometimes how to write words in English because they are very young. So I use a tool named Nearpod that is very useful when you want to show videos, but are very interesting videos, are not the usual videos. So I think that those are that page is very useful if you teach young girls. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
That was my,
totally.
yeah, and it
Oh,
was something good because my class was more motivating for them. They were very happy. They say, "Wow, miss," and I say, "Oh yes, I got it. I did it." So I felt very happy.
oh, that's amazing. Very good. Yeah, Nearpod is a very friendly platform. We can also add videos over there. We can make them questions in the middle of the video. You can stop and there are polls, there are interactive boards where they can write their ideas. Yeah, that's a perfect applicative for teaching. Okay, so does anybody else have another opinion? Another experience who wants to share with us? No? Okay.
Well, I I have seen. I remember when we were in the regular classes. I have seen a teacher that she used to have different type of animals on the wall, and she had like numbers that she give for each line of the class for students. I think that was for behavior instead of the class, but still, I saw that that was very interesting for them. That got them, that engaged them a lot. That they were working on their behavior a lot, that all the teachers could see the difference between how they started and how were they after 1 2 months because of this game. So
Oh,
they
that's
got
perfect.
very competitive because of this game. Yes, so they love to see who was going to have the highest amount of numbers according to the game that she had, something like that. But that was very, very amazing and creative from her that make them engage. Mhm.
Oh, very good. And it was in presential classes, not virtual ones. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody else want to share their experiences? I am going to share one by myself. Okay. When we are presenting in my regular work, we are presenting some demo classes. We used this platform called Nearpod. So in this platform, there are some activities, and during these demo classes, the parents are near their sons or their daughters. So some of the activities were requiring the parents to participate during the class. So the kids were very engaged during these activities because they want their parents or their mother or their father to compete with the parents of the other kids. So they get really, really motivated during that activity. Okay, that I think that is all for today. Thank you very much for your attention. This is the first of many small workshops that we are going to be doing. Okay, and thank you very much for your assistance. I hope you like it. In the chat, okay, in the chat, you can write me your mail so I can send you the slides, okay? So thank you very much, everybody. I am going to see you soon. Okay, I'm waiting for your mails. Very good, thank you very much. Oh, thanks to you for participating in here. Okay, during the next few hours, I am going to be sending the slides to your mails. Yeah, and in the slides, you can click on the devices, on the electronic devices, and you can find the links of the applicatives. Oh, thank you very much, guys. Okay. In the mail, I am going to add some information about White Star so you can know where is going to be other workshops, very similar to these ones.
Thanks a lot. It was so useful.
Oh, thank you to you. Okay, perfect. Okay, you can find us in Instagram with okay. I am going to add all the contact information in the mail. Okay, so thanks everybody for coming here and for sharing your experiences with us. I am going to wait 2 more minutes before I close the session, and I am going to disconnect my audio and my video, but I am waiting here for your mails, okay?